After marginal growth throughout 2018, Belize's economy saw steady declines the following year, which then led to further declines in 2020. 2 years ago, Belize's GDP declined by 14% or $405 million. This resulted in a debt-to-GDP ratio of 133%. The significant dip led to these infamous words by former Prime Minister Dean Barrow.
Bottom line is, I grieve for my poor Belize, and I certainly extend my sympathy from now to those that will have to deal with that particular problem.
At the time, talks with the International Monetary Fund and mass retrenchment seemed imminent. But a victorious P.U.P. administration swooped in with what they termed a homegrown economic recovery plan, rejecting the IMF's recommendations. Their fiscal consolidation measures included a four-pronged approach. One such method was to reduce public spending. In this case, public officers and capital expenditures took a hit.
The salary adjustment is necessary, but it is no fiscal elixir. That alone is far from sufficient to reverse the public finance morass left behind by the last UDP administration. Painful as it surely is, the $60 million in salary adjustments and the $20 million foregone for increments and allowances in this budget is one step in the hard slog back to fiscal finesse.
The plan also included the restructuring of Belize's debt to reduce principals and lower interest payments. Along came the signing of the Blue Bond, an effort that began under the previous government.
Automatically, our debt to GDP ratio falls by 12%. Our external debt falls by an even greater percentage, more like around 20%. The benefits are gained already. In terms of opportunity, recall that when this administration came into government, the state of public finances, the state of the economy, there was no fiscal space. In fact, the government was borrowing $1 million a day roughly in Belize dollar terms. We're not borrowing $1 million a day.
By May of this year, the IMF declared that Belize's economy is recovering strongly, with a reduction of public debt by 12% and a real GDP growth of almost 10%. So much so that a few weeks later, the House of Representatives reinstated the 10% of public officers' salary that was withheld.
Last year when we met with the public officers, we said that we had to cut salaries and allowances, and the projection was that we were going to do it for 3 years. But because of the performance of the economy, because of the hard work that the People's United Party government has done in the past year, we are now returning that 10% and allowances to our public officers 2 years in advance, Mr. Speaker. 2 years in advance. And I hope that the member from Albert and Mesopotamia and Colette will also get up and support this bill.
Soon after, Cabinet approved the MSME policy and strategy for 2022-2025. And on August 5th, the Briceño Administration launched the MSME Roadshow. This was on par with the P.U.P's commitment to incentivize and engender economic growth.
Even though we are working tirelessly to provide support for MSMEs, there are still too many of these businesses that lack the fundamentals needed for growth and development. They lack access to affordable financing. Many lack technical expertise. They lack understanding of scale, understanding of making data-driven decisions, and the importance of marketing and product development.
More than 370 businesses and over 1,000 entrepreneurs benefited from the roadshow. Today, Belize's debt-to-GDP ratio stands at 89%, a far cry from 113% in 2022. Notwithstanding the P.U.P's Herculean effort, fiscal turbulence still looms, with unprecedented inflation and a poverty rate of over 50%.
As I tell everybody, the best social program that we can have going in Belize is putting people back to work. And that's what we've been doing. and that I want them to understand that we're doing everything possible to make their lives better, that we every day think about them and trying to find ways to improve lives and to make it easier, and that we understand and feel for them.
The next chapter of this story is the proposed increase of the minimum wage to $5. Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.